The glowing promise of better living through chemistry has tragically backfired as pollution intensifies and its associated health hazards become even more apparent each day. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that the air inside of our homes is typically 200 to 500% more polluted than the air outside. Welcome back to the Essentially You podcast, all about reinventing your health with safer, cheaper, more effective natural solutions and powerful lifestyle changes so that you become the CEO of your health. I am your host, Dr. Mariza Snyder. Today, I'm going to share with you something that changed my life. I am going to share with you how to make over your cleaning cabinet to reduce your overall toxic load and to help balance your hormones. Now, I remember the first time I noticed that toxic cleaning chemicals were damaging my health. I was 12 years old and I had been suffering from chronic migraines for some time. And one of my weekly chores was to clean the bathroom with ammonia and Comet. And I remember bringing in this big jug of ammonia to clean the toilet and the floors. And then this can of Comet, the bluish green powder that would just poof, go everywhere, especially in the air when you poured it out to clean your tub or your sinks. Now, I would scrub the bathtub with this nasty stuff each week, and I knew that if I didn't get out of the bathroom in less than 10 minutes, I would go into a full-blown migraine due to the toxic fumes that I was breathing and touching. And I remember living this way every week for years, and it was awful. And I had no idea that you could actually make over your cleaning products with as little as 5 simple ingredients. And that is what I'm going to teach you how to do today. Now, I will also be sharing my top 4 essential oils to make over your entire cleaning cabinet. Plus, I have an amazing bonus that I can't wait to share with you. Now, after years of toxic exposure, I experienced my second health crisis in my late 20s, right in the middle of working on my doctorate, stressing over paying my mortgage, eating a ton of fake food, taking on too many other priorities, and who knows what else. My body hit a wall and literally shut down. I was unable to lift my head up off the pillow when I woke up most mornings. I was suffering from migraines again, this time due to estrogen dominance, insomnia, being 35 pounds overweight, irregular periods, and being chronically exhausted due to adrenal fatigue and what I called hormone chaos. I literally fell asleep in the middle of the day, and I became unreliable for several months, and it created a lot of anxiety and shame for me. This wasn't the high producer that I was known to be. My body simply stopped working for me. I was in the middle of what I called pure hormone chaos, and I was a toxic mess. And I still had no idea the impact that stress and toxins had on my body. But I knew I was estrogen dominant because of a hormone test, and it was creating horrible PMS, and that meant changes needed to happen. And at this time, I was not on the pill because the pill was never a hormone solution for me, like many of other women. The pill has never been my friend, and it was not an option. So if this is an area that you want to explore more, this understanding of what the pill really is, I want you to head on back to episode number 4 with one of my best friends, Dr. Jolene Brighton. She is going to give you the scoop on everything you need to know about post-birth control syndrome. Now back to toxins. What I've learned is that toxins play a huge but overlooked role in hormone imbalance. As a woman, it's important to understand the harmful effects that toxic ingredients have in the body that are found in common cleaning and personal care products. There is now strong scientific evidence linking dangerous toxins and synthetics in cleaning and personal care products to chronic diseases such as reproductive toxicity, autoimmunity, allergies, obesity, and even cancer. Recent studies have found endocrine disruptors such as parabens and phthalates that are showing up in breast milk and body tissues from common household items. Equally as important is the impact synthetic preservatives and fragrances are having on our environment. We know that persistent pollutants do not degrade. Instead, they remain in our water and soil, and this turn affects our food and water supply that we're consuming on a day-to-day basis. More than 80,000 chemicals have been registered with the EPA since World War II, with at least 2,000 new ones added every single year in the US alone, and it's not slowing down. And the point I'm trying to make is that we are all vulnerable to toxic exposure, especially children. The glowing promise of better living through chemistry has tragically backfired as pollution intensifies and its associated health hazards become even more apparent each day. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says that the air inside of our homes is typically 200 to 500% more polluted than the air outside, especially in the wintertime when we really kind of close up the house. Now, the reason for this is that toxic household cleaning products persist in our household environment through our carpets, our countertops, our floors, basically permeating everywhere. And we're constantly touching these areas of our home each day. Now, my dear friend, Laura Adler, who is my go-to environmental toxin expert, goes into more detail about the science around toxicity in our bodies in episode number 10. Now, as a hormone expert, I have studied the effects of synthetic chemicals on endocrine and reproductive health. To provide a little bit of background, the endocrine system is your hormone regulating system, and it's regulating everything. These chemical messengers are in charge of reproductive health, mood balancing, cognitive function, immune system, metabolism, brain function, and so much more. So when we're talking about the relationship between toxins and hormone imbalance, it's important to address what is called endocrine disrupting toxins. And there are many of these. Now, these chemicals can influence how certain glands, our endocrine glands in our bodies, make hormones. In fact, once they get inside of the body, some of these chemicals actually mimic your estrogen hormones. These are called xenoestrogens, also known as estrogen metabolites. Xenoestrogens such as BPA, paraffins, phthalates can alter female reproductive development, can also alter fertility and early onset of menopause, along with metabolic and cognitive function. Now, your body treats xenoestrogens just like your estrogen hormones, and your body uses it in the same way as it uses your own estrogen. The problem is chemical xenoestrogens like this are very strong and long-lasting, much stronger than our own hormones. And they tend to bind to our hormone receptor sites for even longer, creating a ton of hormone imbalance. So these chemicals pretty much hang out in the body and throw our hormones out of balance by messing with our liver, by messing with our digestive system, and even more so, messing with the very same hormone receptors that are creating a lot of the changes that are happening in the body. So why does this matter? Well, estrogen hormones make us women. Literally, estrogen is the reason why we are women, and they have a lot of influence on our bodies throughout all stages of our development. Estrogen hormones play a role in our reproductive health, our mood support, cognitive function, skin, insulin regulation, bone growth, and much more. And when we find ourselves in estrogen dominance, often due to toxic xenoestrogens in the body, we can begin to experience symptoms of decreased sex drive, bloating, breast swelling and tenderness, fibrocystic breasts, headaches, especially migraines right before your period, mood swings, weight gain, sluggish metabolism, foggy thinking and memory loss, and even fatigue. Those are often some of the most glaring symptoms of estrogen dominance, and I can personally relate to experiencing many of these when I was dealing with my own estrogen imbalance. Now, when it comes to men, these same xenoestrogens or endocrine disruptors can also be linked to male infertility, cancer, and deformities. Children are even more susceptible to endocrine disruptors as their bodies are not fully developed. So brain, reproductive, and metabolic development have been shown to be negatively affected by endocrine disruptors. So given all of that, and given all of the research that's compiling today, how do we begin to solve this massive problem? Well, step number 1 is prevention. And if I'm following the advice of Laura Adler, step number 2 is prevention, and step number 3 is prevention. And the purpose for that is if you can just decrease your exposure to these toxins, you will not have to work as hard to remove these dangerous chemicals from your body. Because when toxins get into the body, they get into the liver, they get into the digestive system, they get into your tissues, into your endocrine glands, into your fat cells, and even in the fat cells of your brain. And it can be very challenging to remove these chemicals once they are in the body. As I mentioned before, they are quite persistent. So I am excited to share with you how I got started with making over my home, creating a non-toxic home. And specifically, we're going to be talking about how to make over your green cleaning cabinet. That's what we're going to be creating today. Now, when I first got started with this, the first step for me was really getting my husband on board. And he was actually not my husband just yet. Alex was my fiance. And this was important because I was going to make some big changes in our household. Now, clearly, anyone who loves you doesn't want to see you suffer. I know Alex didn't want to see me suffer. So getting the family on board will hopefully be pretty easy. Now, I want to be honest. Initially, when I began to take on this task of making over my home and creating a non-toxic environment, I felt very overwhelmed by having to make over these products, particularly my personal care products, my medicine cabinet, and then clearly my cleaning cabinet. And anyone would feel that way when they are changing the way that they live inside of their home. Now, I had only known toxic products my entire life, and there was a bit to learn about incorporating green-friendly products and ingredients. And the idea of making practically everything that I use daily was a bit daunting. So I took it in stride. I knew that it was going to take time to make these changes, and I gave myself grace, as you should too. Now, I started with the easiest thing, which was my medicine cabinet, and then the cleaning cabinet. And the reason why I started with my medicine cabinet is that as a practitioner, I knew for a fact that everything in my medicine cabinet was synthetic, and probably most of it was expired at that point as well. And then I moved on to the cleaning cabinet, thinking that that was going to be a challenge as well, with all of the cleaning products that we had in the garage, underneath the sink, name it. It's amazing how many cleaning products you can accumulate for pretty much no reason whatsoever. I was looking at all these cleaning products thinking to myself, like, why do we own all of this? And what I learned is that you don't need that many cleaning products. And I'll get to that in just a second. Now, the biggest tool that helped to make over everything was essential oils. To my surprise, I learned that essential oils were amazing at replacing everyday health and cleaning items in my home. Quite simply, essential oils are amazing at reinventing healthcare by providing families easy, effective, natural solutions for everyday health concerns, from neck tension to digestive upset and much more. Essential oils have transformed how we take care of our bodies in my home, physically, mentally, and emotionally on a daily basis. And in millions of households, they have become equally as important as wholesome nutrition. Now, essential oils bridge the gap between the foundational lifestyle habits for nutrition, exercise, reducing your toxic load, which we're talking about today, and sleep. And often they are the missing link to that hurdle you have been trying to jump. Essential oils are also a great solution for hormones and mood balancing. I'm actually writing my newest book on essential oils and hormones, and there are recipes and blends to support cravings, stress, energy, weight, mental clarity, and libido. And if you would like to check out some of my favorite recipes on these areas, you can definitely go check out my copy of the Smart Mom's Guide to Essential Oil book. The link will be in the show notes for this episode in case you want to check the book out. Now let's get started with the easy solution. You can easily make over your entire cleaning routine in a few hours, and which is a handful of staple green cleaning ingredients, most of which you probably already have in your house. Not only are these ingredients highly effective, but you will also save a ton of money. And who doesn't like to save some money when they are making over their cleaning cabinet and making over their household? I know for me, I was actually quite shocked at the amount that I saved when I made the big switch. Even better, you only need a few ingredients to tackle the entire spectrum of yuck in your house rather than bottle after bottle of specific retail products. So I want you to open up your cabinets when you get a chance and check for these staples. You will want to make sure that you have these on hand before you take that big black trash bag and do a chemical purge by throwing away all of your nasty, toxic cleaners. That's right. It is time to go through those cabinets and start throwing that junk away. So here is my list of ingredients that I want to make sure that you have on hand. Number 1, baking soda. Baking soda is perfect for removing tough stains and grime. Next is white vinegar. Now, vinegar is your secret weapon. When you combine that grease-fighting ability of essential oils with white vinegar, you have a match made in heaven. White vinegar contains natural antifungal and antimicrobial properties. It also has the amazing ability to cut into grease and especially mineral deposits like limescale and hard water, or even that nasty tub ring that some may have. Next is Castile soap. Castile soap is non-toxic and can be used in many different cleaning products, and it produces a very soft, natural lather. We use Castile soap for dishes. We use it for our body soap. We use Castile soap for everything in our house. Next is salt, kosher or table salt, and this is great for scrubbing. And then lastly is high quality essential oils. And the oils that I love are lemon, lavender, wild orange, melaleuca, also known as tea tree oil, and eucalyptus. Now, essential oils are natural degreasers, deodorizers, and have incredible antimicrobial properties to boot. So now that you have the list, all you need is about an hour or so to make over your cleaning products. And I want to share something that I've learned on this journey. As I mentioned before, you don't need all the cleaners that you have. You probably have a ton of cleaners under your sink that you haven't used in ages. Now, I was walking through Target the other day and I passed the 5+ aisles dedicated to cleaning products, and it blew my mind. How is it that we have so many cleaning products that are absolutely unnecessary? You really only need 3 to 5 cleaners for most of your household, and I'm going to share with you my most used recipe in just a moment. Now, I want to go back to one of the ingredients I mentioned, which was essential oils, because as far as I'm concerned, that is your second secret weapon. As I mentioned before, essential oils really bridge the gap to creating a lot of the non-toxic solutions that you're looking for your personal care items, your medicine cabinet, and especially your green cleaning cabinet. Essential oils are natural degreasers and they have incredible antimicrobial properties. And I want to quickly showcase my top 4 favorite essential oils for cleaning. The first one is lemon, and I love lemon essential oil. Actually, I love all of the citruses. Lemon, wild orange, grapefruit, lime. Oh, they smell incredible. Now, lemon is light, it's clean, it's also a powerhouse for homemade cleaning recipes. It's naturally antibacterial. It's commonly used to degrease stubborn stains. It's great at getting oil off. It gets the stick out of everything. Like if you had gum on your shoe or even in your hair, lemon to the rescue. I swear if my husband were to walk in right now, hearing me talk about lemon oil, he could tell you all the stories about how he's used a lemon to clean practically everything. And that's why we have, at minimum, 2 to 3 bottles of lemon oil in our house at any given time for any of our cleaning needs. Now, the main chemical constituent found in lemon and other citrus oils like grapefruit and wild orange is called limonene, and it is a powerful antioxidant and cleansing agent. So lemon is a must-have in your cleaning cabinet, but also for so many other purposes. I love to diffuse essential oils, and I know we mentioned that our households can be 200 to 500 times more toxic than the outside air, which is so crazy to consider. And we love diffusing essential oils around the house, really to purify the air. And lemon oil is one of those oils that we use a lot. I love the combination of lemon and lavender and bergamot. Not only does the house smell clean, but it smells bright and fresh, and it gets rid of any stinky smell that may be going on in the house. Number 2 is melaleuca, also known as tea tree oil. Is there anything that tea tree oil can't do? It fights germs, it acts as a powerful cleansing agent, everything from homemade wipes to hand soap to all-purpose spray. Tea tree oil is the handy weapon against bugs and environmental threats. Add tea tree to a spray bottle with water, shake well, and literally you are deterring pests. You're deterring ants, you're deterring spiders, you are deterring any type of nasty smells. I mean, it is such a powerful cleaner. This is always one of my top 5 essential oils to have around the house. Number 3 is lavender. Now, this one is absolutely versatile. As we know, lavender is the jack of all trades because it is so multifunctional. But when it comes to home, we often use lavender for our washing machine. We use it for our dryer balls. We use lavender for our hand soap and our body wash. I use lavender for deodorizing and diffusing. Oh, there's just so many ways to use lavender oil. It is great to have around. And then the last one is going to be eucalyptus. Now, this is a natural germicide. It's a powerful dust mite buster. You can use it with baking soda to deep clean your mattress if you do that. Or you can dry wash your stuffed animals. I mean, literally, it's going to clean everything and anything. And all you gotta do is just add a couple of drops to your next wash cycle. So I like to add a combination of lavender and eucalyptus to make sure that our clothes are completely clean and smell incredible. And with its clean smell, eucalyptus is great for stinky jobs in the kitchen and in the bathroom. I love actually using a eucalyptus spray in the shower because it opens up airways and also just helps to keep my shower really clean. Now, as promised, here is my most used cleaner in the house, and it is my natural all-purpose cleaner. And I want to share the whole entire recipe with you. I know it can be a little interesting in a audio podcast episode, but I'm going to be giving you an incredible bonus that's going to have this recipe in it. So don't worry, I got you covered. So this all-purpose cleaner is a 16-ounce glass spray bottle. And I am big into recycling as well. So we drink a lot of Pellegrino. So I've actually used a Pellegrino bottle as my all-purpose cleaner. We just take a spray cap from another bottle, put it in, and my recipe is 1 cup of white vinegar, and then I fill the rest up with warm water. So I fill the entire rest of the 16 ounces with warm water, and then I add 25 to 30 drops of a citrus essential oil. Sometimes I like to combine them. So my favorite combo is either lemon and grapefruit or lemon and wild orange. You can kind of play with it and figure out what works best for you. So the directions, just in case, I want to make sure I give them to you. You're going to combine the water and vinegar into the spray bottle. You're going to add your essential oils and then close it with the spray cap. Once you close it, you're going to shake well, and you can spritz on countertops, wood floors, glass, stainless steel, porcelain. I mean, pretty much every countertop in any surface, but always make sure to double check. So spot test it. I just don't want you to ruin anything. And just let it sit for a few minutes. And this is really where the magic happens. When you spray vinegar and essential oils onto any surface and let it sit for 45 to 60 minutes, that's really where you purify that area that you're cleaning. And then after those few minutes or those 60 seconds, swipe clean with a microfiber cloth or whatever you prefer to use. It works especially well in microwaves and refrigerators. And for added deep cleaning, try sprinkling baking soda first and then spritzing on the cleaner, leaving it for a minute or two to bubble and work before wiping away. And some other different combinations, you could try 15 drops of lemon and 15 drops of lavender, or 15 drops of grapefruit and 15 drops of lime, or 10 drops of melaleuca, peppermint, and wild orange. I mean, you can really get creative here. I've given you a lot of ways to mix and match. And as I mentioned, we use the all-purpose cleaner for everything. But if you want more recipes, I have created the perfect cheat sheet for you. This cheat sheet includes my favorite go-to and easy green cleaning recipes that are really going to meet all of your needs. From a soft scrub to a glass cleaner, I mean, name it, I cover the gamut. I don't overwhelm though, because again, I don't think you need a lot of cleaning products to get the job done. And on this green cleaning cheat sheet, you're also going to get a green cleaning shopping checklist. So all you would need is this little checklist, and you can take this to the store and get all the rest of the ingredients in case you don't have the ones mentioned. I do have a couple extra ingredients on there just to consider for whatever you want to create. And you can find this amazing cheat sheet in my show notes at drmariza.com. That's drmariza.com/episode 19. Now, if you're wondering if this is all worth it, I want to emphasize the massive transformation that I experienced when we created a non-toxic home. For me, the transformation was my hormones. As I mentioned before, I was severely estrogen dominant at the time, and my migraines were getting triggered again, along with my lack of energy, brain fog, and mood swings. Not to mention a really unhappy liver. Honestly, I didn't have a choice. Something needed to shift in our home and with our lifestyle. And I have a feeling you are in the same boat. As I mentioned earlier, it was difficult at first to make over our home and give up the products that I love because I didn't want to part with everything. But I am so grateful that I did. So I want to invite you to at least make over your cleaning cabinet and go from there. And as I mentioned before, I created the perfect cheat sheet to get you started today. So I've got your back, and all you got to do is go to the show notes and grab it before you take off. So I want to say thank you so much for stopping by and listening in to the Essentially You podcast. Coming up next, I am interviewing Emily Fletcher. If you are ready to experience less stress, I want to invite you to learn from the meditation expert that Dr. Mark Hyman goes to. She's also my meditation expert as well. Emily is going to teach you how to increase your productivity by lowering your stress levels through meditation. You are going to love every moment of this interview. She makes it jam-packed. Also, as always, I want to hear from you and want to hear more about what you would love to hear on the podcast. So take a moment and rate and review the Essentially You podcast on iTunes. That way I can continue to bring you amazing guests like Emily Fletcher. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, have a wonderful day.